You never thought that someday that you'd look back and have so many questions that you wished you would have asked. Though you were with those folks for so much of your life, but now they're gone. Those memories are lost in time. Yeah, I don't have the recipe for my mother's biscuits or pie crust, but I wished I did. And how many times did I see her sprinkle them with flour and roll them out with a pen? I could have just asked her and she would have showed me. Or she'd have showed me how. Or taken a penny piece of paper and just written it all down. Yeah, my daddy, he could tell you just why a car's engine was missing. All you had to do was crank it up and let him listen. Now, he could do the plumbing, electric, carpentry, and concrete. For me to build a house, that'd be an impossible feat. Times have changed, but not for the better. We may have things to make life easier, but then we've lost precious things that we had and did. Those times are over, we can't go back again. And my older brother would dig a big hole in the ground and they'd call it a cave. And when it was deep enough, we'd go outside. That's where we'd play. Didn't really have a tree house, but we had the bottom part. Maybe that's where my thoughts about life got its start. Yeah, and I'd play football and throw the ball to myself and score the winning touchdown. And basketball hoop nailed to the barn. Tried to dribble on that ground. I got pretty good at making free throws and even long shots. But when the ball landed in a fresh pile, that's when the game would start. Yeah, a fresh pile of cow shit. And stand by that space heater or that wood stove, and the seat of your pants would be on fire from standing too close. Find a forked branch that looked just like the perfect stop, and with rubber bands and a leather pouch, you make yourself a slingshot. That wasn't what we called it back then. You used to make homemade ice cream, ship ice off of a block, put it in that wooden bucket, sprinkle it with salt, and to turn the handle, sometimes it was a little hard. But an older brother would take over when my arm got tired. Times have changed, but not for the better. We may have things to make life easier, but then we've lost precious things that we had and did. Those times are over, we can't go back again. Yeah, Mother made homemade bread also and all kinds of cookies and cake. And when they were in the oven, I'd lick the bowl while I'd wait. Yeah, Grandma stayed with us for a while. She was old and her health had failed. I was just 8 years old when I got my BB gun. Killed her bobwhite white quail. Yeah, she ate it all right. An old wives' tales that didn't make much sense or weren't really advice. Like don't eat fish and drink milk or you'll die. So many other things now are forgotten that we said. Well, I'll be swanny. Don't play with matches or you'll wet the bed. I guess I could say I started learning how to drive a car by shifting gears while playing in a record, sitting in the backyard. That's where I chewed my first tobacco tube. It was Red Man in a pouch. I didn't know how, so I just chewed it up and spit it out. It cost too much to make long-distance calls, so it was letters back then. But we had a party line so you could sneak it. You could listen in, and folded paper to make real airplanes or other things, or make a cup and saucer of Jacob's ladder with the string. Times have changed, but not for the better. We may have things to make life easy, but then those times now are over. Those are some of the things I remember from back then. Those are some of the things I remember from back then.